I mean, think about it like this. We've spent, what, the last decade basically building a super genius brain in a glass jar.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Right. Like we've fed it the entire internet. We taught it to write, incredibly complex code, compose sonnets, pass the bar exam, all of that.
But it's trapped.
Exactly. It's just sitting there on a desk, completely trapped. I mean, no hands, no legs. But today is Sunday, May 3rd, 2026, and we are looking at the exact moment that jar shatters.
It really is. The barriers between digital reasoning and physical action, they're collapsing way faster than anyone in the industry predicted.
Yeah, AI is officially breaking out of the digital screen and entering the physical operational world. Welcome to today's deep dive, by the way.
Glad to be here. We are witnessing this massive leap, right? From models that just talk to models that can actually touch, move, and, manipulate the environment around us.
And to guide you through exactly how this is happening, we brought a massive stack of sources today. We're looking at a recent global tech daily briefing from May 2nd, the breaking news of Meta's latest robotics acquisition, and this dense, just fascinating research paper from a company called Physical Intelligence.
Oh, the Pi 0.5 paper.
Yes, a breakthrough robotics model called Pi 0.5. And we know you love getting the full, thorough picture without, drowning in information overload.
Right, the signal through the noise.
Exactly. So by the end of this deep dive, you're going to understand not just what these robots are learning to do, but the actual mechanics of how they're doing it. And crucially, how this hardware revolution connects to the broader software and enterprise economy.
Which is where things get really complicated.
They do. Okay, let's unpack this. To understand where AI is today, we basically have to look at where the really big money is moving.
And right now, it is moving aggressively into physical hardware.
Unbelievably aggressively. According to the Global Tech Daily Briefing, Meta has just acquired a robotics startup called Assured Robot Intelligence.
Right.
They are pushing really deep into humanoid robotics to close what researchers call the embodiment gap.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is that the embodiment gap is no longer just like an experimental side project for these massive tech firms. It is the primary bottleneck.
Wait, define the embodiment gap for us, just so we're clear.
Sure. It's essentially the challenge of getting an AI to understand physics, right? Gravity, spatial relations, friction.
The messy real world.
Exactly. The chaotic real-world environment. Like, a language model can generate a flawless step-by-step recipe for baking a cake. But the moment you ask it to actually crack an egg,
Total failure.
the system fails completely.
Yeah.
Because cracking an egg requires tactile feedback, force modulation, understanding fragility. Major software companies realize the next trillion-dollar era of AI requires crossing that gap.
And Meta has a really unique advantage when it comes to solving this, too. I mean, it's not just their deep pockets.
No, not at all.
It's their massive ecosystem of behavioral and social interaction data. Like, if you want to train an adaptive system to operate a robot in a human environment.
Say a busy office or a living room.
Right, exactly. You need to understand human context. You need to know that a human walking quickly toward a door might not see the robot holding a tray of coffee.
Right, anticipating human behavior.
Yeah, and Meta has billions of data points on how humans act, react, and navigate social spaces.
If a robot is going to function outside of like a controlled laboratory cage, it desperately needs an intuition for human unpredictability. Software giants are shifting their focus because they recognize that capturing the physical world is, well, it's the ultimate interface.
The final frontier for them.
Yeah. We optimized software for decades, and now the physical form factor just has to catch up to actually deploy this intelligence.
And we're seeing physicality matter again across the board, honestly, even in consumer pockets. Hardware innovation is accelerating everywhere. I mean, just look at the foldable smartphone market.
Oh yeah, that's heating up.
ZDNet just declared a clear winner there between Motorola's new Razr Ultra 2026 and Samsung's Galaxy Z Flip 7. Foldables are fiercely competitive right now because people want tactile physical experiences again.
They want to touch things. They want devices that move.
Exactly. Whether it's the phone you're holding or a robot in your kitchen, the physical object is back in the spotlight. But, okay, if Meta is buying up talent to build physical AI over the next few years, what does the absolute bleeding edge of that technology look like right this second?
That's where we get to the research paper.
Yes, let's open up this paper from Physical Intelligence on their new model, Pi 0.5.
This paper represents a massive paradigm shift. I mean, Pi 0.5 is a vision language action model, or
Yeah.
VLA.
Okay, VLA.
Right. And it's capable of what researchers are calling open world generalization.
And here's where it gets really interesting. The paper details how this model can control a mobile manipulator.
Which is basically a robotic torso on wheels with two highly articulate arms.
Right, it looks very sci-fi. But it uses this to perform complex, long horizon tasks. We are talking 10 to 15 minutes of continuous action.
Which, in robotics, is an eternity.
It is. Putting dishes in a sink, making a bed, wiping up a spill, cleaning up a cluttered bedroom. But the kicker is, it's doing this in entirely new homes it has never seen before.
And that is the critical breakthrough. I mean, traditional robotics heavily relied on brute force data collection for very simple, isolated tasks.
Right.
Like, if a researcher wanted a robotic arm to pick up a blue cup from a table, they would physically guide that arm to the cup thousands of times to build muscle memory.
Just over and over.
Yeah. But that approach shatters the moment you take the robot out of the lab. Every kitchen is different.
Right, the counter height varies.
The lighting changes. There might be, a toaster in the way.
I mean, frankly, I can barely find the plates in a friend's kitchen, let alone clean the entire room for 15 minutes straight.
Yeah.
So how does a robot generalize to a room it has literally never even been inside?
Well, it transfers knowledge from a massive, heterogeneous mix of data.
Mm.
Instead of learning a rote sequence of physical movements, the model is learning the underlying semantic concepts of the tasks themselves.
And the way it builds those concepts is wild. It
Yeah.
actually learns a lot, like a human does. The secret sauce here is a training method called co-training.
Co-training, yeah.
During the first training phase of Pi 0.5, a staggering 97.6% of its data did not come from mobile manipulators doing household tasks.
Which sounds completely backwards.
Let me just frame that for you. Almost 98% of its training had absolutely nothing to do with the robot performing the actual chore.
Right.
It learned from non-mobile fixed-arm factory robots. It learned from lab cross-embodiment data, which is just data from completely different brands of robots.
Yeah.
It took in verbal instructions from human supervisors. But most importantly, it ingested a mountain of multimodal web data. The paper notes it was trained by answering questions about images or identifying bounding boxes around objects on the internet.
Like drawing a box around an elephant or a chocolate pecan pie.
Exactly.
And the diverse diet of data is exactly what unlocks the open world generalization.
Okay, hold on. I'm struggling with this because, if I read an encyclopedia, I don't magically know how to ride a bike.
Right. Physical movement is different.
It's incredibly tactile. So how does looking at a flat 2D web image of pecan pie give a robot the physical intuition to know how to fold a shirt or scrub a counter?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, think of it like learning to cook in a completely foreign kitchen. The web data gives the robot the recipe and the ingredients before it ever picks up a knife.
Oh, okay.
By analyzing millions of images and bounding boxes on the internet, the robot builds a rich semantic map of the world. It learns that a flat, shiny surface next to a sink is a counter.
Right.
It learns that a microwave is a box with a door that heats things. It learns that a pie is fragile, while a metal pot is not.
Ah, I see.
That is the language and vision part of the VLA model. Once it has that massive vocabulary of what stuff is, the tiny sliver of physical training data.
That remaining 2.4%.
Exactly. That teaches it how to actually move its arms to interact with those recognized objects.
So it's building a fundamental understanding of the universe first, so it doesn't get confused by, a weird kitchen layout.
Precisely.
And that two-part process is literally built into the architecture of the Pi 0.5 model. It uses a hierarchical two-step system.
Okay.
First is the high-level subtask prediction. The model looks at the messy bedroom and predicts text. It literally outputs a sentence to itself, like, pick up the plate.
And that first step relies entirely on the semantic web knowledge we just talked about. It surveys the scene, identifies the plate using its internet-trained vision, and logically determines the next step.
Got it.
Then the second step takes over. This is the low-level action expert.
The action expert.
Yeah, it's a smaller, highly specialized neural network inside the model that takes that text command, pick up the plate, and translates it into physical motor control. The paper notes this action expert uses something called continuous flow matching to execute the movement at 50 hertz.
Okay, let's break that down. Because 50 hertz and flow matching sound like serious engineering jargon. What does that actually mean for the robot's arms?
Well, let's start with flow matching. Imagine you were holding a full cup of coffee
Yeah.
and you want to set it down on a table.
Okay.
You don't just jerk your arm in a straight, rigid line. Your brain calculates a fluid, continuous path that adjusts for gravity, the sloshing of the liquid, the weight of the cup.
Right, it's a smooth motion.
Flow matching is a mathematical technique that allows the model to draw that incredibly smooth, continuous trajectory from point A to point B. It prevents the robot from moving like a jerky mechanical toy.
Oh, wow. And the 50 hertz part.
Hertz refers to cycles per second. So at 50 hertz, the action expert is recalculating and micro-adjusting that smooth trajectory 50 times every single second.
Wait, really? 50 times a second?
Yeah. If the robot is reaching for a plate and its wheel slips a fraction of an inch on the floor, the system adjusts its arm instantly. It guarantees the grip is perfectly calibrated so it doesn't crush the plate or drop it.
That is incredible. So it thinks in broad concepts and then it acts in microscopic adjustments. Like,
Right.
okay, the human said clean the kitchen. I see a plate. Step 1, pick up plate. And then the action expert micromanages the arm 50 times a second to grab it smoothly.
It's a beautifully elegant division of labor.
So what does this all mean? We have a situation where robots are successfully making beds and wiping spills in the real physical world by leveraging incredibly complex data architectures.
Right.
But when we look back at the Global Tech Daily Briefing, we see that purely digital enterprise AI is currently slamming face first into a massive infrastructure wall.
Yeah, the contrast is stark.
If you are a CEO looking at this, it's baffling. Like, a Fortune 500 company can't reliably roll out an AI assistant to summarize its emails, but a robot can do your laundry.
I know it sounds like a paradox, but it stems from the exact same root issue.
Oh,
Data infrastructure.
No.
A new Accenture report highlighted in the briefing shows that corporations are severely struggling to scale AI beyond pilot programs. Excitement is at an all-time high in the C-suite. They want the AI revolution tomorrow,
Obviously.
but they lack what Accenture calls the AI superhighway.
The plumbing. They don't have the data pipelines, the governance, or the integration layers properly built out.
Exactly. The robotics lab succeeded because they spent years meticulously curating and structuring that heterogeneous data diet for Pi 0.5. Enterprises, on the other hand, often have their data siloed across dozens of legacy systems.
It's a mess.
The industry is fundamentally shifting right now from a hype-driven experimentation phase to a brutal operational execution phase.
Because whipping up a flashy demo of an AI chatbot using public APIs is easy.
Anyone can do it.
Right. But integrating that model securely into a massive corporation's proprietary database, scaling it across thousands of employees, and ensuring it doesn't hallucinate sensitive company secrets.
That requires an infrastructure foundation most companies simply haven't built yet.
And the market data totally backs that up. The briefing cites numbers from Andreessen Horowitz, A16's teachers, showing that the biggest financial winners in the AI economy right now aren't the companies building flashy consumer apps.
Not at all.
The massive value is still being captured by the infrastructure, semiconductor, and compute companies. It's the people selling the picks and shovels making all the money because everyone is desperately trying to build out their superhighway.
Without that robust physical and digital infrastructure, the models simply cannot operate at scale. We are seeing a profound new pragmatism take hold. Companies are realizing they can't just flip a switch and have an autonomous AI run their logistics.
No.
The Uber example mentioned in the briefing perfectly illustrates this hybrid approach to infrastructure.
I love that Uber detail. Uber is pivoting to use its millions of human drivers as a distributed sensor network for autonomous vehicle training. For years, the Silicon Valley narrative was that human drivers would be replaced by robotaxis almost overnight, but the infrastructure proved too difficult.
Well, the difficulty wasn't getting a car to drive in a straight line, It was the edge cases.
Right, the weird stuff.
A plastic bag blowing across a dark street, a pedestrian stepping out from between parked cars, complex construction zones. Fully autonomous systems struggle to ingest enough of those rare edge cases to be universally safe.
So instead of burning billions waiting for fully autonomous fleets to magically become perfect, Uber realized they already have millions of human drivers navigating those exact edge cases every single day.
Exactly. They turn their human workforce into a massive data ingestion engine. By using the sensors and phones in human-driven trips, they continuously collect real-world road and traffic data.
Which is brilliant.
It helps improve mapping and provides invaluable edge case training data for the AV companies, all while Uber continues to generate revenue from the human rides. It is humans and AI infrastructure actively coexisting to bridge the gap.
It is the definition of operational pragmatism. You leverage the legacy resources you have today, like human drivers, to physically build the data infrastructure you need for tomorrow. But as we try to scale these systems and integrate them into our daily workflows, whether it's an enterprise assistant, an autonomous car, or a creative tool, we're running into some really bizarre friction points.
You really are.
As AI crosses into our physical and creative spaces, the boundaries are getting messy. Like the Global Tech Daily Briefing noted some new research showing that AI systems tuned to respond emotionally actually become more error prone.
Which is concerning.
Seriously, if you're looking at this from an enterprise perspective, you have to ask yourself, why do we even want these models to be emotional in the first place? Are we making a massive mistake trying to make AI our friend if it means they hallucinate facts?
This raises an important question about the fundamental architecture of large language models. These models predict the next word based on probability weights in their latent space.
Right.
If you tune an AI to be empathetic or polite, you are actively shifting its mathematical priorities. It begins giving higher probability weights to comforting, agreeable language rather than objective, factual retrieval.
Oh, wow. So it wants to make you feel good even if it has to lie to do it.
Yes, exactly. In high-stakes environments like healthcare, finance, or legal workflows, factual accuracy must be the absolute priority. If tuning an AI to be friendly degrades its logical reasoning or increases its hallucination rates, that is a highly dangerous trade-off.
Yeah, I mean, your financials look great or that x-ray looks fine are terrible things to hear from a machine just trying to protect your feelings.
Exactly. We have to decide if we are building companions or utility tools.
Right. And speaking of drawing hard lines on what AI should and shouldn't do, the cultural world is throwing up barricades. The Academy just officially banned AI-generated films from the Oscars.
Wow.
Yeah, they're drawing a strict boundary around human authorship.
Entertainment is really the canary in the coal mine for these debates. As generative tools improve, industries are being forced to legally and culturally define what constitutes originality. I mean, if an AI generates a script based on a prompt, who is the author?
Is it the prompter? The AI?
Or the thousands of writers whose work trained the model?
Right. Meanwhile, the tech world is sprinting in the exact opposite direction. The tools are evolving from mere assistants into full-blown autonomous collaborators. Like, xAI is launching the beta for Grok Imagine's agent mode.
Oh, I saw that.
This is designed to completely collapse creative workflows. Brainstorming, image generation, editing, video creation, it all happens in one continuous infinite canvas. You give it a broad goal, and the agent executes the subtasks on its own. It just removes the friction between having an idea and producing a final product.
But as that friction disappears, the security risks absolutely skyrocket. When an AI agent is autonomously writing, testing, and deploying software at hyperspeed, human oversight is bypassed.
And the Trellix breach is a glaring warning sign of exactly that.
Yeah, that was huge.
Trellix is a major cybersecurity company, and they just confirmed attackers accessed parts of their source code repository. While there's no evidence of customer impact yet, it highlights the terrifying reality of software supply chain risks. If AI agents allow developers to write and deploy code 10 times faster, it also allows devastating vulnerabilities to be introduced 10 times faster.
It goes back to the AI superhighway we discussed earlier, but this time without the guardrails. Speed without security is a recipe for catastrophic infrastructure failure.
Absolutely.
This is why transparent, rigorous testing standards are becoming the most critical part of the AI ecosystem. The briefing mentions ZDNet publishing a comprehensive breakdown of how it evaluates AI systems. Separating genuine utility from marketing hype and identifying security flaws before deployment is the only way enterprises can safely navigate this transition.
We need standardized testing to definitively prove what these systems actually do versus what a glossy tech demo claims they do.
Exactly.
Well, we have covered a massive amount of terrain today, so let's zoom out and summarize this for you. We started with the physical revolution, Meta's push into humanoid robotics to close the embodiment gap, and physical intelligence's Pi 0.5 model.
Incredible stuff.
We saw how a robot can navigate a brand new kitchen and do your laundry by learning semantic concepts from web data and executing physical movements 50 times a second. We then looked at the infrastructure reality. Enterprise AI is hitting a severe scaling wall, shifting the industry toward hard operational execution and hybrid approaches, like Uber using human drivers to map edge cases.
Right.
Finally, we explored the friction points. The dangerous hallucinations of emotional AI, the Oscars drawing a line in the sand for human art, and the severe supply chain risks of autonomous workflows seen in the Trellix breach. But there's one final detail buried in that S16's report that I want to leave you with.
The shifting online behavior metrics.
Yes. The report noted early signs of declining social media engagement and softer digital attention metrics. And I want to propose a provocative thought for you to mull over today. For 15 years, the entire tech industry has been ruthlessly optimized to trap us in our screens, to capture and monetize our attention. But if AI agents like Grok collapse our digital workflows so we get our computer work done instantly, and physical robots like Pi 0.5 eventually take over our mundane physical chores,
Yeah.
is the attention economy dying because the AI is finally doing the digital scrolling for us?
That is fascinating. If the machine is engineered to handle our digital tasks and our physical labor, the ultimate question becomes, what do we do with our time?
Are we finally being left with no choice but to look up from our devices and actually live in the real world? It seems the brain is finally out of the glass jar, and it might just be handing us our lives back. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. If you found this exploration valuable, please share the show with anyone you know who is building or just trying to survive the future of tech.
There is always more to learn.
Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.